Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis.
I'm Mel B.
Yes, and we're here to
Yes.
talk with comedian Cedric. What's up, Cedric?
I am good. I'm good. It's been a crazy week after finale. It was nobody expected me to be this far, and everybody's putting it on my social medias. We didn't expect to get this far. I'm like, me neither. I had my bag packed after episode 3.
How did it feel to be chased by everyone, every single round table? They were coming for you.
Oh yeah, because they called me chaotic. They called me hurricane. It's my ADD had me all over the place, so they didn't know what to do with me. So I was an easy name to throw out there all the time. Like, oh, Cedric's a lot. Cedric's a lot. So if you had nobody else to vote for, they're gonna come after me. But I'm the wrong person to come after.
Yeah, it's like you're unkillable.
Well, I think Mel B has a little bit of a beef with you for how the first episode went with her East Coast girly, Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I took out Rebecca. I made a pact. Well, I tried to make an alliance with Rebecca and Kira. And after it was the night when we came in, and then the next day they were both ignoring me. So I was like, something's going on. One of them is a traitor, and I picked Rebecca. I picked a Newfoundlander, which was my big mistake. Newfoundlander would never be a traitor.
Literally, and if they were, they'd be a terrible one.
Yeah.
Seen, right? Like, wrong person. I did forgive you though. Me and Cedric have spoken off camera.
Mm-hmm.
And he did say he was sorry at the round table. You did apologize to Newfoundland. So, I can't say we're not going to stay mad and hold grudges. So.
And I should have figured it out. They would have never put 2 Newfoundlanders as traitors 2 years in a row. They saw what happened last year.
They knew better. They were like, oh, that girl didn't do well at all. They need to be faithful. Every Newfie is faithful from here on.
Yeah.
I honestly thought she'd go further because Newfies do well on all these shows, right? Like, it's this East Coast thing. We just usually slide on by with social strategy. But I think you kibosh that for
I'm really gonna take blame for that, but it also helped me get to the end because had I picked Kira instead of Rebecca, I would have caught her off the hop, and if I caught her off the hop, they would have murdered me.
I can see that.
They might have still kept you as well. People were still suspect of you, so maybe you might have been able to.
No, if I caught a traitor right off the hop first episode, if I caught Kara instead of Rebecca, Netta would have got rid of me 100%.
Or I would have done her a favor because it looks like she wasn't too thrilled about Kara being in the conclave right away.
No, she wasn't. Well, it got. As it got closer, because Kara was wanted Michael out so bad, she went after him from early. So of course Netta's like, well, if she's gonna do that to her, she's gonna fix me. Netta pulled that move at the right time.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with you because I know your son Sean was on Big Brother. I saw you guys both run the Amazing Race together. So getting to the manor, were you familiar with anybody? Were you worried anybody would recognize you? Like, how would you feel about all these other reality contestants?
Okay, so Enoch, I kind of knew of him because I coached the basketball team that the high school he went to in Mississauga. So I was familiar with him, and I was familiar with Kevin a little bit, just seeing him from the TV shows. But I didn't really know anybody else. And Netta gave me a wink when she came in the mansion, and I'm like, "Why did you give me a wink like that?" She's like, "I loved your son on Big Brother." I'm like, "Okay." So that wink was probably, I'm gonna win this shit.
So did you know that she was on Big Brother or like right away, or did she?
I didn't know right away. I'm all over the place, so I didn't. And when Kara brought up, she goes, "Well, I saw your two seasons of Big Brother. You were quiet. Now you're not quiet on this." When she was defending herself, and that should have been picked up as a traitor on traitor action, which Nick did pick up on, and I was like. In my head, I'm like, well, somebody said you were quiet on Amazing Race. I'm like, this is a different show. Totally different show. Amazing Race.
Quiet.
An Amazing Race, you're always on the go, right? By the time you get back to the hotel at night, you're gone again in the morning. Like, there's no really time to banter. Like, this gave you a lot of time. I was like, back up in the mansion, I'm in my room every night staring at pictures, trying to find guilt in somebody's. You're like, okay, which one has to be this? Like you're trying to find rhyme and reason, and there's none. There's none. If you think pictures are gonna, if you think your mugshot's gonna give you away, no. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but first episode I looked at Michael John. I go, they're not gonna pick you. You look like you killed people in real life.
That sent me, honestly, when I saw that. But I honestly, like, I didn't know for sure because he was like the last one revealed.
Yeah.
And he surprised me when he got picked as a traitor, right?
It's so funny. I was trying to recognize the jeans when they were playing. I'm like, whose jeans are those? Who would be wearing those jeans?
Those were stand-in jeans.
Yeah.
I was like, they're trying to throw us off.
Yeah, but because I said that and jokingly, I'm like, they're not picking it was him, and it's so weird, you know.
It's true. It's funny. Like you don't know who they're going to pick because every person who gets cast for the show gets cast because they have the ability to be a faithful or a traitor, whether good or bad.
Yeah,
it's going to be entertaining, right? So you really have no idea what direction they're going to go in, and there hasn't really been a rhythm except for Big Brother players. So I think any future Big Brother player may have trouble right off the hop because they're going to be suspected, but that's really the only commonality between the different versions.
It is so true, and I find our season. I watched your season twice, and our season had stronger personalities, I would say. So there's more conflict. Yeah. Where Trevon was a little more timid, but he was very, and Kevin and Gerline were a little like if you see them on Amazing Race.
Talk about Kevin on this podcast.
They were villainy. And then you had who else? Like your personalities were a little like the other Mel was a more quiet, more timid. Ours was like from Melinda on to Trana. We were just like, hey, Lauren was. I called her Alexis. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know the show Dynasty. She was like that person, like, and she'd come in with these outfits. They're like, whoa.
I mean, I do love all the outfits on the show. That's super fun to watch. All the fits. Yeah. So when you get the call, did you want to be a faithful or a traitor? And what was your strategy going in?
I got the call, and I first I was like, "Ooh, I'd love that." I watched right after because I had caught some of it on TV, but I never watched the whole season. And I ran into Mike in Toronto. I don't know if you remember me, but he's a magician, right? So he was very So I liked watching him when in the little banter. So I'm like in the confessions. So I'm like, I'll get a lot of airtime being a traitor. So that was my first thought. But when you get to the match, you're like, no, you'd have to totally be somebody else that you aren't, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, how would you be as a traitor? I go like because he really thought that you were a traitor this whole time, and I was like, "There's no way he would be acting this way if he was a traitor." Yeah,
well, my son, he said when he watched, my son watched the whole season, but he said, "I loved when you were defending yourself when I won the money." And I said, "Listen, I've been myself throughout. I've been consistent, and that's what's key, right?" And one of the big things I said, I go, "Vote me off because you think I'm a traitor, not because I'm a distraction."
I mean, I loved you as a distraction. I thought you were very funny, but I can understand inside the manner that it might have been difficult to.
Yeah. Episode 1, Mike. I love Mike. He does the Dark Poutine book. The other Mike, right? He was Michael. There's Michael John. Is it Michael John or the other one's Michael?
Brown.
Huh?
Brown.
Yeah, Michael Brown. Michael Brown, I kept calling him Flanders. He goes, "Stop calling me Flanders." So they were all discussing outside that they think they're going to get rid of him. I'm like, that guy's not a traitor. So I came on the couch where he was, and I just jumped on him and sat on him like, "They're talking your ear to get you off." He goes, "Who's doing that?" Then he just starts crying, goes outside, tells everybody I said that. And then that night at the table, he goes, "Cedric, you are lying to me, and I'm going to get rid of you." I'm like, "What? I told you they're talking about you."
Poor guy. I mean, he did have some inkling, some psychic hits that were accurate. He wasn't able to kind of follow through. Did you have any intuition or psychic hits that happened to you that you weren't able to manifest?
I just go with my, there's a lot of times I should have been more quiet than I was, but I can't help it. Being a comedian, you can't, sometimes you have no filters, right? So you can't, it's hard to bite the inside of your tongue, inside of your cheek, sorry.
So who were you most like? Wait, you were most suspicious of? You kind of went like around the bat all the time. Who were you most suspicious of? And then who were you most surprised that you were wrong about?
Okay, the most suspicious I was Lauren. For some reason, I felt Lauren had it out for me. And looking back at it now, we both didn't trust each other so much, and that's what you pick up on. And the one I was so surprised, me and Kara, we got pretty close, right? Dancing, and we're like, we're gonna catch another traitor tonight. We're gonna catch another traitor tonight. Like, she had me. Like, if we went to the final, I would have been like, you are I would have cried. I would have cried. I literally started tearing up.
I'm kind of mad at Netta now because I feel like we missed an opportunity, because I would have absolutely loved to see you get to the final, find out Kara was a traitor, and then just like drop to your knees crying.
Yeah, that would have been really good. But I spoke to Kevin. I go, Kevin, because when we got down to the last 6, the plan was to have Lori on our side. We're gonna knock off Lauren. So now we have 5. And then after that, we would have probably taken out Netta. Netta was going to be the next. So the 4 of us would have been all faithful. So I said, Kevin, you didn't make a pact with me. I asked him in the interview yesterday. He goes, would you have taken me as your final 2? He goes, the way we went after you, and then to find out if you were a traitor would be like, he goes, I knew Trana wasn't, and I knew Lori wasn't. So to take you to the end would have been a little risky. It's like, you would have got rid of me. Fire and Truth, bro code would have been gone.
Once there's heat on you, though, it's one of those things that like the whole game is paranoia. So by the time you get there, you're second guessing everything every single day. So by the time you get to the Fire Truth, if there's anybody else that's there that you could have banished and didn't, and you find out that they're a traitor, you're gonna,
Yeah, especially
you kind of get rid of them at this point.
Yeah, Lori was a teacher. I know she wasn't, but I was like, it's just our person. We liked each other, but on the show, our personalities clash a little bit. And I get it. I was a trouble student, and she's a teacher.
I had to ask about that.
Yeah, I was always put in the corner, so she just didn't like the way I was so unruly.
You can tell put you in the corner. The class clown, right?
Yeah. Cedric, it's time for you to go.
So on that topic, one of my favorite parts of the whole show, start to finish, was Lori not just voting you out, but saying, I don't care if you're a traitor. I just need you off the show.
Yes.
What were you feeling? What was your reaction like? How did you feel after that? Because it was great TV. But
I get it. I totally get it. Like when we come into breakfast, there's her headshot looks like she looks like a real estate agent. So I'm like, Laurie, looks like a real estate agent. She goes, I knew you were gonna say that. Like everything I said, she hates. Like she just like, because she knows I'm gonna say some comment. You know what I mean? It's nothing bad, nothing. Everything was always like friendly. But you don't listen to me. Oh my God, yeah. She's like, no. I don't trust anything this guy's gonna say.
Maybe we should have had these two together.
The same thing, like that dynamic. Just
yeah. I know when you watch the other podcast with us, the CTV one, you're gonna see she's like, Cedric, I love you. I'd come support your shows, but I don't want to be any Ruby you're in.
Did Deshaun watch the season? Like, what do you think of your performance? Like, how do you think?
Deshaun, like, people are coming to me. They go, "We see where your son gets a lot of his stuff from. He's both a total mix of his mother and I, but he loved it. He knows his dad is chaotic. When he called them up because they know each other pretty well because they played sports with her. So Enoch's like, where did you find that guy?
Does Deshaun does he want to play now? Like, or is he like, because it's good enough for me, you can take this one?
Keep it on a down low. He's kind of eyeing The Bachelor. So yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, don't make me a grandfather on that show. It's gonna come down to the last 4 girls are all pregnant, and then he leaves the rose and takes off. And it's gonna have to change the name to The Bastard.
Oh my God.
they're gonna come looking for grandpa. No, he's nothing like it. He's a really good kid. But that would be the hilarious if he did go on it and they have to bring the two girls home to like for me to look at. That would be that's comedy gold.
I'm obsessed with you, Frederick.
Wait,
I'll be watching.
okay, so season 7 of Family Feud starts December 30th and it ends in March. So look out for us in March on Family Feud. It's gonna be epic. I can't say what happens, but it's gonna be epic. Two Jamaican families going at it.
Oh my gosh!
I will be looking out for that for sure.
Yeah.
So now that you've played a couple games, so you played the Amazing Race, you played the Traitors Canada now. Yeah. Which one was harder on these two shows?
Okay, so Amazing Race, it's okay. So it's just you and your partners going against everybody. So every challenge nothing's ever in your wheelhouse. So I find that way harder because your challenges as a group and it's way better. There's no pressure on you. But I think that also helped me because I'm very good at stuff like that. Like I'm a mechanic besides comedian, and I played a lot of sports. So I have both. I could do puzzles, but at the same time, I could still run. You know what I mean? So that being said, I think that helped me get further in this game. But I find Amazing Race way harder.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is more of a mind. You know what I mean? Because you're just so suspicious of everybody. Like I brought Trana to the side and I said, Trana, you're a comedian, I'm a comedian. We study people. Like Mike was a magician. We kind of see stuff that regular people don't see. Let's just work together. But she did not trust me at all. If Trana and I did work together, I think we would have caught Netta quicker. And the other thing is, I said to Trana yesterday, I said, Trana, if you went opposite of all your decisions, you would have won this.
Literally. We said the same thing. I'm like, you were 100% sure of a lot of things. So maybe you should be what you're not sure of at all should have been your indicator.
Yeah.
Always go against
I realized about this show every time. I think I even started to say, no, I'm 100%. Enoch, I'm 100%. Kevin, I'm 100%. After so many people saying 100%, 100% means nothing anymore.
0% sure.
Yeah. I almost said, I think I said I'd bet my life. I'm like, I would have been dead right now.
Who'd you bet your life on?
Who did wasn't Rebecca? Maybe it was I can't remember. It was somebody else wrong about it. I think it was Melinda. Yeah.
I mean, Melinda, I thought that she was going to be a traitor as well. So I can understand.
Yeah, she would have made it. I didn't. Aaron thought I was one a little bit. But the thing about it is, when you see how people were getting picked off, even though we were shooting ourselves in the mouth or in the foot, whatever, you realize that somebody that's running it has to be kind of intelligent. So that's why I kind of think Aaron would be so great because he's so smart, right? You can't I'm not saying Michael John's not smart, but Michael John couldn't have pulled this off. But going back now, Netta played a beautiful game. She was stealth. She made the move. She whispered in Trana's ear. She did little things like one time she's at the table and she was so quiet and she wrote my name, scratched it out. She wrote somebody else's name, scratched it out, came back to my name, scratched it out. That was genius because you don't look like a traitor now.
I thought it was a genius move, but you did call her out. It was like, with her scribbling and then erasing and scribbling. Like you weren't fully sold in the moment.
Yeah. But do you remember? I didn't remember doing it, but I think it was episode 9. I said, Ned, are you a traitor? And she's like, no. Like I tried to get her halfway through her talking, and then my face was like,
yes.
That was comedy gold.
Now that you've played as a faithful and you've seen the game that Netta's played, what would you come back and play? What would you want to do? Which role would you want to be?
I think I'd still want to be a faithful. I would still because I feel that my personality, without knowing me, would change a little bit, and they would pick up on it because people are gonna watch and that's why Trana got so much. Everybody trusted Trana's judgments because she watched every season of of the whole thing globally, right? So we all believed in Trana, even though she was wrong. And what made her so popular is because she owned it all her wrongness. I was wrong, I'm a dumb. She didn't like, you know how some people are wrong, like, well, she didn't make any excuses for it. And when somebody owns their wrongness, that's why even in the news, somebody does something wrong, everybody jumps on them. The reporters, like Charles Barkley, got caught with a prostitute, and and he comes out and says, "Okay, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I was wrong. I did it." And TNT didn't fire him, and everything went away because he owned it, right? So you guys, all you reporters have done it. You just didn't get caught. But once you start hiding, people like, yo, something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta own your wrongness, right? That's what makes good reality TV, also.
So what would you say your favorite part of this experience has been?
My favorite part was just being able to be myself on camera and just to observe and just being able to like talk about everything, and then whatever the producers choose to put on, they put on, but my personality shined on it, and I was really able to be myself. I wasn't super paranoid. The only time you really saw me not me, which is me, was when they voted me the most but that won me 10 grand.
Yes, okay. Actually, we didn't talk about that at all. How did it feel to just take that? I mean, we think it was the right decision, and most people have been saying, like, yes, that was the right decision.
I don't think I've heard one person say that you didn't make the right decision.
You guys don't know me super well, but I'm a very emotional person, right? So them saying I was the least, when Karen looked at me right away, I knew the votes came to me. I felt hurt. I felt hurt because I came here to catch a traitor and I didn't catch one, and I'm super vocal, right? And B, I felt like you guys act like you're my friends, and this is what you're voting. So I was super hurt. So when you saw me walk in, they had everybody at the round table first, and they played the music. Melissa knows they played this song from Hunger Games. And I walked in, and then you must have saw it in my face. I was mad and I was hurt. Right? To get the money, I had to get off that table that night. So so it was a lot of pressure on me, but I was like, I already had Michael John in my sights, and I said, I knew I was gutting from tonight, and I said, and then Lori, because Lori in the car that day, she goes, Cedric, give me a name. I'm like, you give me a name, Lori. So I said that. I don't know if they played. I can't remember if they played it, but I was like, but I did say that. You have Lori and you have Michael John, and you guys think I'm the traitor? Boom. And then when I saw the talk start after me, nobody really pointed at me. They all were like, maybe we shouldn't have voted. They were scared to say something to me. And that helped me win. And the way they started, it was beautiful, because it started with Trana. Trana said Cedric. Then it came to me. I said Michael John. Then it went to Michael John, Cedric. So it looked like I was going home that night, right? Yeah. It was episode 8 should have been called Hurricane Cedric, because I got the $3,000 on the thing, and then we went back, and then I got 9,500, and then the way they ended it, Cedric, did you take the money? Tashawn said he watched it 50 times. Like, I took the money. I'm not an idiot.
Your face at that table after, when you're like, yeah, I took the money, and you were just grinning, like just cheesing so big. One of my favorite parts. Like, I honestly think Canada fell in love with you.
Tashawn, and I have a younger brother who lives in Montreal with her. He called me up. He goes, I've watched that scene 50 times. Like, I love the way, and the way they edited it was beautiful, because they're like, did you take the money? And then it clipped to me at that table, and then it came back to the round table. I gotta put that out there soon.
Yeah, Cedric, I am wondering too. You do have because we've got kids the same age, right? Like, you've got another son who's around Scarlett's age, like 5-ish.
Yeah, 5.
So has he been watching any of the show? Does he understand it?
He doesn't understand it. His mother does show it to him, and he's always like, Daddy, when's Daddy coming? And they'll have him in hockey. His mother's she works with plays at the high school. So this kid's personality, like Tashawn was a quiet kid. Mm-hmm. My little guy Emmett, his personality is through this roof. Like, he's just gonna be he's just a different kid. As we say, he hits differently, and his personality is just out there, and he's having a mom that puts on plays, and she's a social worker, and having a dad that's on TV, and I play, and he's just he has you have to give children all the tools to succeed in the world, and this kid has all the tools already at 5. Like no iPad, no cell phones. He's either Lego puzzles, because this is what people don't. And Tashawn was smart too. But he didn't come up with cell phones. But I would put him in sports. But then my mom would read to him. His mother, he had puzzles is the exercise for the mind. A Rubik's cube, anything. This technology is a kid that has even a 10th of personality. 5 years from now is going to go way further than this guy here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cell phones are killing. The cell phones and technology is killing people's minds. They call it a smartphone because they make everybody dumb because they retain everything.
Yeah,
you're just sitting there watching TikToks and this. No, I call it talk tick.
So we like to conclude our interviews with some rapid fire questions. So just throw out whichever other one of your contestants that would match these lines. So most manipulative player.
Most manipulative player. Who's manipulating? That's a hard one. Gotta go around. Okay, no, Kevin's good, Laura. Not trying to manipulative. I would have to go with maybe Kirkland. Kirkland was kind of manipulative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to hear what your answer is for the loudest.
Loudest, obviously me, but I would put Trata out there too.
Well,
I think you guys have been tied.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you guys have been tied for loudest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funniest.
Me.
Player that you'd like to invite to dinner.
Dinner. Lauren. I would really like to sit down with Lauren.
Who's most opinionated?
Actually, Gail too. Gail would be great at dinner. Gail, but you'd have to hold her tight. She's a wrestler. She'd try to put you in a headlock.
Oh. Opinionated.
I would say Trana.
A player that make the best spy.
Aaron.
Worst traitor ever out of the faithfuls. Who would be?
Me.
Trata.
And who's
Trata?
Trata would make the best spy. Okay. Or worst traitor. And who was the most trustworthy in hindsight?
Kevin shot himself in the foot in the end. Most trustworthy. Who would we trust? Oh, Pac-Man. Pac-Man or Nick? Pac-Man or Nick?
Solid.
I go more Pac-Man. Nick sometimes would Nick would be talking to me, but then he would side-eye me like he didn't trust me. I would go with Pac-Man. Pac-Man, even though you didn't see much of him, you just want to hug him.
He seemed like a really genuine guy. We never got a chance to interview him yet. We're still hoping to, but yeah, he seemed very genuine.
He was quiet. He had a knee problem, so he couldn't do a lot of the challenges. But he was always there in the back talking, and you could just tell somebody's wholesome and sweet.
Yeah, definitely that showed with Pac-Man. But it's been amazing talking with you. I could talk with you for hours, obviously. Do you have any final thoughts you want to say before we let you go?
I love this experience, and it was. I'm glad the world got to see my ADD HD.
It's been a blast. Mel B, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just reminding Cedric that he promised to take me to get fish and chips the next time he comes to Newfoundland, and I plan on holding him accountable, and I'm going to loop Rebecca in on that offer, and you're going to have to pay for both of us.
Yes, bye. It's bye.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Cedric. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Cedric.
Bye.
Bye.